ground and kids walked off.
The 29-year-old mother of the two kids that likely froze to death Monday in the parking structure of the Hollywood casino.
Maybe I asked the wrong people for help, but that was the only thing I did wrong.
Tateona, remembering how many times she reached out for a place to live, she asked the father of the two kids that died.
He had an excuse every time. Either he's working, they can't come where he's living. He lived with a female, and the parents and them don't want kids there or something.
She also asked the city of Detroit for help.
I reached out in November. I reached out before that. I've been on the CAM list for a long time. And every time I called and asked if they have a bed, they said they don't have family beds.
So the 7 of them had been sleeping in their 2002 Town and Country van since November. But the kids had everything else.
They ate every day, all day. Goodies, food. They didn't want for nothing. Every day they went to school. I had one mistake.
And the kid's grandmother, 49-year-old Yvette Goodman, was also in the van that day. Did the van run out of gas?
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke...
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
And when you woke up, what happened?
My grandson wasn't moving.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family.
And that's one of the reasons we did set the GoFundMe up, so she will be able to have housing for herself and the children, her other remaining children.
We'll put a link to the GoFundMe account on our website, fox2detroit.com.
That's all I wanted to do was sleep somewhere safe.
In Detroit, Charlie Langton, Fox 2 News.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Unfortunately, today's story isn't, of course, it's not politics. Well, it kind of is, and I'll tie it into it later. You'll see what I'm talking about. But it's a heartbreaking story. It's gone viral. You've probably heard of it by now. But I just decided to wait a few days to see about any new information before I created this video for you. So what you just saw was a mother grieving the loss of 2 of her children who died from hypothermia in Detroit. And she was homeless, living in the car or the van with those 2 children, along with her mother and 2 other children. So there was like 6 of them in the vehicle, and truly heartbreaking. But what I wanted to point out to you was the situation that we have surrounding homelessness in our country. We have Doge, of course, and you're probably going to get tired of me speaking about it, but deal with it, right? Because each and every day is almost like a new gift that we get to witness the exposure of all the fraud that has been happening under our noses for decades, and all of the wasteful spending. So this mother, and of course this is, things are going to come out as the days go on, and I'm gonna tell you this real quick, and then I'm gonna let you hear from the father, and then we'll continue from there. But she's homeless with her kids, living in their van, staying in a casino garage, which we all know how cold garages can be, and this is Detroit, so it's frigid. It's really, really cold. And she says that she reached out for help. She reached out to the city of Detroit. She reached out to several people, groups, so on and so forth, and she said she could not get any help. I want to tie it into Doge because of the fact that, again, all of the wasteful spending, all of our money was sent to other countries. And, of course, within our own country, the thousands of illegals who came into our country illegally and were able to reside in, of course, sanctuary cities, liberal cities, and took away resources. They themselves didn't take it away personally. Let me rephrase that. The Democrats of those states, those cities, redirected those resources that should have been available for this mother and her children and gave them to those who we owe nothing to. Gave them housing, gave them food, gave them medical, gave them everything that this mother right here, this grieving mother and her family should have received instead. At one point I read that she was working, that she was like a nurse or a nurse's assistant or something like that she had a job, and was doing her best. Now in the video, she's crying, understandably, of course, over the heartbreak, and you can't help but feel sorry for her. Now, what you also note here is the lack of the father in this situation. And again, I'm gonna get to him in a second. But this also points to another situation that's going on here in America, is the fact that fathers are not present or not present enough in their child's lives, on top of, now I don't know what their relationship was like as far as marriage or not, but apparently he was only the father of three of their children, of course, two that have just passed. But he wasn't there for them. And in the video, she's crying that she reached out to him and he always had excuses. Now, we can assume that several instances that it's a frayed relationship, between the mother and the father. We know that women can be trifling once it comes to the fathers, and we also know fathers can be deadbeats and full of excuses and feel that they have the freedom to go about and move on in life while the children stay with their mother. There's, several, it can go either way with those types of things. But I want you to listen to him and comment and let me know what your thoughts are on the situation. Not just on him, but on her as well. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. I've heard several instances where he is getting attacked, and then I've heard also to where, like, can we really trust what she says, and such like that. But before I play that video again, as usual, hey, pay y'all dues, please. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, receive notification for when I do upload a new video. Try to do at least one video a week. And then, of course, follow me on Instagram where I post more content. This is more so of my commentary, of course, in regards to my opinion. And occasionally I'll try to do, or my reactions. And occasionally on Instagram I'll try to post more of my stuff, but of course news is like traveling, like it's like the speed of light. It's constant. It's always going. It's something. It's fast. It's crazy to try to keep up with it. So that way, hey, you won't act like I'm leaving you all in a dry spell of sorts. But without further ado, let's hear from the dad. And again, let me hear what you guys think.
Right now, we're going to turn to our other big story of the night. A father speaking to us tonight after learning 2 of his kids died from exposure to the cold in a casino parking lot.
Yesterday, 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham spoke to the mother of those 2 kids about the tragic situation.
Yesterday, I woke them up to wake them up from school. My son wasn't moving. And I kept saying, Freddie, please get up. Please.
Well, tonight, Darren is getting the father's side of this story, hearing about the moment he learned 2 of his children had passed away.
Darnell Curry Sr. wiped away tears while talking with me about his children, Darnell Jr. and Amillah, and the distressing phone call he says he took from their mother, Tateona Williams, on Monday.
I went to the gym. As soon as I got on the treadmill, she called saying, can I make it to the hospital right now? They gone. I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't.
According to Detroit police, 9-year-old Darnell Jr. and 2-year-old Amillah died while sleeping in a vehicle at the Hollywood Casino at Greektown parking garage. Investigators say the cause appears to be hypothermia, a tragedy stemming from homelessness.
I tried. I asked for help. I asked everybody, even people out of state. But I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me. You know, people just didn't like too many kids at their house.
I spoke with the children's mother Tuesday evening. She told me she's been living in her vehicle for 3 months, along with her 4 kids, her mother, and 2 teenage siblings. She says she reached out to Curry, who's the father of 3 of her children.
I asked him, I said, can you get your kids for me? I said, I need help. You know I'm homeless. I done kept a room this long. I couldn't keep it no more.
They were homeless. Had Tateona ever reached out asking to...
No, she did not. All she said was, can I get them? Can I get them just to get them? And can I get them because y'all homeless? That's 2 different things.
She said she had been homeless for 3 months.
Say, I saw it. That's what I saw, about 3 months. But she ain't never said nothing to me. Nothing. So all them other sob stories, they can cut all that. No, she did not.
Curry, who lives in Novi, says Williams never specified why she wanted to drop their kids off to him.
She just asked, can I get them for a couple of days? But I told her I'm working and all that, and I'm out here. We're not close to each other, so I couldn't. But she knows all my family is right around the corner from her.
Did she reach out to any of your family?
No, she did not. And she knows she could have, like we always used to do.
He says the last time he held his children was a month or 2 ago, and that they typically FaceTime, moments he will miss.
And there's a, police investigation into this. What is it you would like to see come of this? Obviously, nothing's going to bring back your 9-year-old and your 2-year-old.
It don't even matter to me. Can't get them back, so it's whatever.
Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
No, you cannot get them back. Our heart aches for this.
All right, so you heard the father's side. Now, my situation with what he said was the fact that he was saying how she was asking for help wasn't enough for him to. It was like he was nitpicking on her asking for help. And in regards to how she asked for help. And my thing is, like, why would it matter how she asked you to come and get your children? They're your kids. And you're saying that you haven't seen them in 2 months? What warrants that? Why have you not seen your children in 2 months? And then he says that her reaching out for help didn't include his family. And I mean, you do wonder where the family is on this situation, aside from her mother, who of course is living with her at the time. And to clarify, she was in the van with with her children, from what I've heard. But apparently, from what it sounds like, on top of that, the grandmother says that she was in there with them, and she fell asleep. So I'm not exactly, I'm not sure on that situation. It would look bad. Well, of course, like the children weren't there alone. The mother couldn't have been at work if she is still working. And the kids were just left with their grandmother, who, again, she fell asleep. The story apparently is that the car battery died, and they froze due to that. But I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I guess she could just be really exhausted from what the grandmother is saying. She said usually she's up, but maybe she was just really exhausted and she fell asleep. I know I wouldn't be able to sleep in that frigid cold, but apparently she was. I don't know. There are some things that make you go, But getting back to the father, like, why would it matter how she asked you to come get your children? You should be you should be happy. If anything, probably even begging to get your hands on your kids. You laid up with her 3 times and had a kid, and you're just like, and I'm not saying that he's not heartbreaking over the situation. A lot of people are criticizing him in regards to the situation, claiming that he really didn't want much to do with the kids, and how this was just, an out for him, because one of the other children, the third child, was apparently older. From what I read, she had 2 teenagers as well, living in the van with her. One of them apparently his. So, and then you've probably seen it too. Again, a lot of people are out here talking about it, where, like, okay, so they posted a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe reached its goal. When I say they, the mother and her family had a GoFundMe available to cover the burial costs for her children. So apparently the goal was met on that end, but then the father also launched a GoFundMe. He received a couple of $100 somewhere in there, and then I guess he got criticized, reported, whatever, and then he ended it. And then, but people are also calling him out for trying to make a quick buck off of the death of his children. And then there's also this like, he's out here practically living his best life. As you heard, he has a girlfriend, and then there's that circulating as well. Just check this out.
So you didn't care enough about the children to go and pick them up because they could have died of hypothermia, but you care enough to start a GoFundMe? Please get up out my face. Shout out to Daily Hip Hop Tea, and I'm going to tag their page below because when I saw this video, I had to go look up this mess myself. So I went searching, and I was like, there's no way that this father had started a GoFundMe after his callous interview on that local TV station. Y'all, he did. So he had posted this GoFundMe, and it says, help us honor the memory of our 2 precious children. And it had raised about $395 before he himself had shut it down. But I had read through the comments of a lot of other individuals that they said they had found this GoFundMe and had reported it. Now, in the description of this GoFundMe, he has stated, I'm reaching out with a heavy heart to share the unimaginable loss my family has suffered. We recently lost 2 of our beloved children and have 2 more to care for. No words can describe the pain and grief we are experiencing as we navigate this devastating time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought he only had 3 children with her. So who are the other 2 additional children? Now, it goes on to say that we are asking for any support you could provide and help us honor their memory and give them a farewell they deserve. Also to support with my children still here with us. I thought they only had 2, but I could be wrong. Finishes out and says, any donation, no matter how small, will mean the world to us. If you're unable to give, share this fundraiser would also be great. And then he said, thanks, kindness, hearts, prayers, and all that other stuff. Y'all, that's not all, because I had to go and do a little bit of investigative digging over on Facebook, because I heard that his current girlfriend was posting a whole bunch of stuff about her Valentine's Day. Okay, so this is her Instagram page. She shut it down, and her username is it's__Danny, DANNI. So this is her page. Now, before she had shut down her Instagram, because she posts in her stories quite frequently about her and him, she had posted this about Valentine's Day, and it says in the bottom caption, she said, thanks again, babes. And you can see that it's quite elaborate for Valentine's Day when you have children who are literally sleeping in a casino parking lot. Now, this is Danielle, or Danny, with an I, the girlfriend. This is the dad. This is him right here. Child, when I saw this, I was like, they're really living their best life. They were out gallivanting at bars and casinos. And I was blown away. Not thrown away. I was blown away. I was like, oh, they're just living their very happy, comfortable life. And then she had posted more pictures of them together kissing. A lot of the pictures were them kissing, being lovey-dovey. This was the one that sent the internet over the edge, the elaborate Valentine's Day setup. There were more pictures, but she had shut her page down too quick before anybody else was able to read the rest of her story. But child, when people saw that, they was like, I know you lying. And then this picture, I don't know what this is. I mean, like, you're out at a bar. They both look healthy. That's the word I'm going to use. And you know what I mean? Like, they look like they're having a ball at this bar. And obviously they're with friends because somebody else took this picture of them together. So you're out, you know how to be able to access funds and money to go have fun and Valentine's Day and bar hop. But where were either of them at the time that the mother of his 3 or 4 children was sleeping in a casino parking lot?
In 2023, the city extended contracts to people who were approximately 3,600 new, provided services to around 200 people during that period of time. Statewide refugees that arrived in Michigan's projected a 40% whatever, and so I can get it. But if all of that checks out, and this man really left his kids out there because he talking about somebody didn't want, and it's below 30 degrees, you probably should go to jail. Let me give you some stats on the immigration or the migrants who are affecting Detroit's homeless shelters. Undocumented immigrants in Michigan, as of 2021, undocumented illegal aliens made up approximately 1.2% of Michigan's population. Between late 2023 and early 2024, there was an estimate of 500 to 1,000 refugees and asylum seekers arrived in the Detroit area. Many sought assistance from Freedom Housing Detroit, which reportedly provided services to around 200 people during that period of time. Statewide refugees that arrived in Michigan's projected a 40% increase in refugees arriving from 2024, expected approximately 3,600 new arrivals, up from 25 in 2023. The projection did not include asylum seekers entering independently. These are just people who were documented that came there by way of the government. In November of 2023, the city extended contracts with nonprofit shelters and added 100 warming centers beds through the spring. On December the 1st, 2023, 94 emergency shelter beds were added with plans for another 140 beds over the next 6 weeks. For who? Illegal aliens. Not for this woman, not for American citizens, not for black people, not for black and brown bodies, but illegals that came over to this country.
Yeah. So, sorry. So, yeah. So, that right there pisses me off. The fact that this father, or if you, he's out there living his best life, it seems. He's in a whole new relationship, roof over his head, not hurting for anything. You saw the elaborate Valentines that he gave his girlfriend. All the while his children are out there in freezing temps, homeless, sleeping in a van in a casino garage. And look, ladies, you guys are going to have to stop making any dude a father. Men, same situation. Y'all got to stop making anyone a mother, because in the end, it's the children who pay the price. And unfortunately, these two babies paid with their lives. It should not have happened. And it also, hey, look, again, like, the city also failed the children. I also want to know, where were the families? He's saying that, of course, you heard what he said about she not contacting his folks like she typically does. But where were hers? Aside from her mother, where was her family? Where's the black community? If she was still working, where was her job? The children. She said the children were still going to school. Why? Where is the school in all of this? There's a lot of questions that I have. And again, if you have the answers to it, if I got something wrong, please let me know in the comments. This shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. It's gut-wrenching that in America today, our own citizens are being overlooked and paying the ultimate price. Hopefully the family that they are now receiving help after this tragic loss of those two babies. And again, and hey, if either the father, I personally believe he should be held accountable as well. There's no way in the world that I will be comfortable with not seeing my children who don't live with me for 2 whole months. He's saying that they FaceTime. How's FaceTime is, and then apparently they were only minutes away. I don't get it. FaceTime is for those. FaceTime is not to. It's not to replace that physical presence. It's there to help bridge the gap of, like, not being around each other. But if you are more than capable of going and being there, they're your kids, man. And then you have the audacity to complain. And he was crying in the video, so I'm not saying that he's not truly heartbroken, but you have the audacity to complain about how she didn't ask, like the way that she didn't word it properly or something. Like, no, those are your kids. It shouldn't matter. So again, I appreciate you all stopping in. Continue to come back, comment, like, share, subscribe. Keep the truth going. Keep God first in your life. Stay blessed. I'll see you guys on the next one.